You're new to crypto trading and you want a simple process to spot buy and sell signals. There's a good buy spot. Now, how did I know that that was a good buy spot? Well, you see, I could use moving averages to help identify the direction of the trend, when the trend is changing, and also where an area of value may be found for that particular market. Now, moving averages are not foolproof, but they can help you spot some buy and sell signals. In this video, we're going to go out, we're going to talk about what a moving average is, how you can apply it to your charts, how you can use it in a strategy, and when to stay away from using moving averages. So let's go ahead and get going. What is a moving average? Well, as the name implies, it is an average of numbers. So to use an analogy, let's say that you're a basketball player and for the last 5 games, you go out and you scored 5 points, you scored 11 points, 13 points, 8 points, and then 20 points. So in the last 5 games, you scored that number of points. Well, if we wanted to see what your average was for the last 5 games, we would simply add those numbers up, divide them by 5, and we get a 5-game average. Well, the same concept applies within the financial markets and within the crypto market as well. We can go back and we can add up the last 5 days of pricing for Bitcoin or Ethereum or any other crypto. And as we add up those 5 numbers, we divide it by 5 and we get a 5-day average of what the prices have been. Now we call this a moving average because, well, tonight in basketball, you're going to have another game. And so you're going to score some more points tonight, hopefully. And in order to maintain a 5-game average, what you're going to do is you're going to roll off that game from 6 games ago, and you're only going to take the 5 most recent games and create that 5-game moving average. And same thing within the crypto market is that today there's more pricing that's being generated. And today's price is likely going to be different than it was yesterday. And so we're going to take today's price and we're going to add up it plus the previous 4 days of pricing and come up with a 5-day average within Bitcoin. So it's a moving average because the components that are used to create that average are changing as every day moves forward or as every candle moves forward. Because we could do this not on just a daily chart, but we could do it on a 4-hour chart or a 5-minute chart. The same concept applies regardless of your chart time frame and regardless of the financial asset that you're looking to analyze. So the moving average is a single output. It provides a single number. So before we play in our basketball game tonight, I've got a 5-game moving average, and that is a single number. After tonight's game, and after it recalculates, my 5-game average is going to change, but it's still going to be a single number. And within the crypto markets and within the financial markets, it's the same thing. The averages are going to change from day to day, but the average for that day is going to be one single number. And so this is where the line is drawn, is the output for the moving average for today is a little bit different than the output for the moving average from yesterday, and then it starts to draw this line on the chart. So let's go out and let's see how we can add this line to our chart, because fortunately for you and I, we don't have to do these calculations manually. There's a lot of charting software out there that will do this for us. So let me go ahead and show you how we can add this to our charts. Okay, so here's how we go out into the TradingView charts in order to add a moving average to your charts. We're going to go up to the top, we're going to select indicator, and in the search bar you want to type in moving, and you will see a technical for moving average. Click on it and then it will automatically get added to your chart. Now we need to modify this, so we can come over here to the gear button in order to make changes to it. Now I want to change the color of this. I want to make it so that it appears more visible on the chart. So I'm going to change the thickness of it, and the input style, I'm just going to go with 50 for now because that is one of the common settings within the inputs here. We're going to select OK, And there it is applied to the charts. So you can do this for any time frame. You can do this for any input value. The common input values are going to be 20, 50, 100, 200. Those are some of the more common ones, but really you could put any input value in there that you want. So now that we've got the moving average applied to the chart, how do we use it? So there's a couple of different uses for it. As you can see, there are some instances where the moving average provides support. And so every time that the market comes down and retraces, the moving average provides support. It's an area of value. It's an area where people buy. We could also use it to determine the direction of the trend. So for example, we've got the moving average that is pointed upwards. And so that indicates that the trend is higher. We can also use the moving average to indicate when the trend changes. So for example, we can see right here that the price begins to break down below the moving average. And as it breaks down below the moving average, that indicates that the trend is changing from what was an uptrend into a downtrend. Shortly thereafter, the moving average started sloping downward. So those are some of the main uses for the moving averages, but there are some limitations to the moving average. And one is that because it is an average of previous prices, it is going to be slow to react. It's not going to react very quickly to today's prices. Today's prices is just one of a collection of prices going into that data point for today. So to overcome that slowness, what traders have come up with is try to figure out how can we speed up a moving average. We like how it provides an area of support. It can tell us when the trend changes. So is there a way that we could use the moving average to speed up things a bit? Given these limitations of moving averages and that they're slow to respond, traders are always trying to come up with a way to speed things up. And one way to speed things up is using a variation of the moving average. So if we go out and take a look at the charts, we'll see that there are, if you just type into the search bar, moving average, you will see all of these different types of moving averages appear. Now, these moving averages all do different things. They're basically a variation of the main moving average, which is a simple moving average. You've got the Hall, you got the smooth, you've got a least squares. But one moving average that is probably the second most popular one is called the exponential moving average. And what the exponential moving average does is it speeds up how fast or how reactive the market is, how reactive that the moving average is to the market by giving more weight to the most recent price action. So if we come out here, the gray line on the chart is the 50-period simple moving average. So I'm going to come out here and I'm going to make this a 50-period exponential moving average. And let's give this a different color of line and make it thick. So we've got this gray and we've got this skin tone color out here. And what you could see is that the peachy color, it reacts to prices much quicker and it seems to hug prices a bit more. So on this uptrend, previously it held prices a lot quicker. And then as prices were turning from an uptrend to a downtrend, then the peach line also reacted and began to move lower well below or well before the gray line is. So that's one way that traders would overcome this limitation, is by speeding it up. But the downside by speeding up the moving average is that you also are subject to more false signals. So for example, here is a situation where price did break down below the moving average, and then it did react higher. So because it moves quicker, you are going to get more false signals, especially when the market is trading in sideways fashion. So what moving average do you choose? It's a good question, and really it depends on the chart time frame that you're looking at, and also the size of the moving averages. If you are more into day trading or you need something that reacts quicker to pricing, you're probably going to want to lean towards the exponential moving average. If you are more on the longer term trends and want to just see what the longer term trends are, a simple moving average, a 200-day simple moving average might make sense. For the day traders, maybe that 20-period simple or exponential moving average is where you might lean towards. We've got a video dedicated to this, so make sure you check that out. So when do we use moving averages, or when's the best time to use moving averages, and when is it best to not use moving averages? So moving averages are best utilized in strong trending markets. Like within the crypto market that we see here from 2021, there was a very strong trending market, and the moving average did a great job of indicating what direction the trend was, and then also offering that area of value. But there are other points in time where the moving average is not going to be quite as helpful. And if we take a look here in early 2022, we have a situation where prices began to move sideways, and the price crisscrossed up and down, above and below the moving average quite often. And it provided a lot of false signals because the market was trending sideways. And you could tell when the market is trending sideways because the moving average starts to point sideways. It doesn't have a directional bias. It's not pointed up, it's not pointed down, it's pointed sideways. Then that's a clue to indicate that the market is likely going to be choppy, and we need to wait for it to pick a direction. And then once it picks that direction, we could use that moving average to help us find some areas of value. So what are some strategies that you could use to trade with moving averages? And I'll cover a couple of them here with you right now. First of all, you could use moving averages to help indicate what markets might be a little bit stronger than others. Here we're taking a look at a chart. On the left-hand side of the screen is Bitcoin, and on the right-hand side of the screen is Ethereum. And so if you were trying to decide whether to trade Ethereum or Bitcoin, you could use the moving averages to tell you which market was a little bit stronger. And here the gray line is the 50-period simple moving average, and Bitcoin is currently trading below that 50-period simple moving average, whereas Ethereum is currently trading above the 50-period moving average. So at this point, it would boil down to what is your bias in the crypto market. If you think that the crypto market is going to rally, well, right now Ethereum is showing more strength, and therefore it may continue to be the one that moves higher at a much greater level than Bitcoin. But on the other hand, if you feel like the crypto market may be selling off, well, Bitcoin may be that canary in the coal mine, as they say, and because it has broken through its moving average already, it is the weaker of the market, and therefore if the whole entire crypto market were to sell off, then Bitcoin may be a leader in that regard, and that may be the one to consider a short position or an options trade that capitalizes when the market moves down, or maybe even a leveraged token. So that's one strategy and one way that you could use moving averages. And then another way that you could use moving averages, and I alluded to this before, was to simply come out here and use it as an area of value, of support or resistance. And we saw a good portion of 2021 where moving averages did provide that support in the market. Once it was broken through, then it provided an area of resistance. And so you could use it to determine that area of value of where to get into a trade. And then lastly, it can tell you a trend direction, what direction the market is moving. So that's all the time that we've got here, and hope that you enjoyed this video. Feel free to give us a like if you enjoyed it, and we've got some other videos ready to show you as well.